Paradigm shifts can happen overnight. Things come from seemingly from nowhere and change the way we live. And this is how I feel when I look at the advent of the artificial intelligence. The thing that concerns me is how artificial intelligence or AI technology is going to change my business and your business. Now, before I explain a little bit more of that, I'd love to just go over history and see how things change over time. Luckily, I belong to a generation who have seen the entire transition from VHS to VCD, DVD, Blu-ray, pen drive, and then streaming online. So my coach said, who's also similar my age, and he said, we are the originals. If you've seen that TV series, you know what that means. So we've seen a great transition. And imagine some time ago, we had something called telegram services, not an app, a real telegram. Imagine that you need to send an urgent message. You walk into a post office and give you a message, probably 2 lines. Your grandma is sick, come urgently. And then post office send that electronically to another post office where the receiver is there, probably other side of the country. They write it down and then give it to a postman. And he would cycle to that house and give it to the sender. That's what he called original text message, the telegram. And there was once used to be a very respectable, highly regarded job as well, especially in the UK, they call it Royal Mail and all that. Still, they call it Royal Mail. This entire ecosystem vanished, isn't it? It's nowhere to be seen. So when I say, the VHS, the vinyl to VHS, the CD to VCD, each time this new technology came into the scene, people embrace it, and then each time it disrupted almost the entire ecosystem, isn't it? One of my good friends, actually really fond, probably the fondest memory I have when it comes to VHS cassettes. So there was this movie called E.T., and it's very, very famous children's movie. We watched it in the cinema, and then many, many months later, he got a VHS cassette. And he said, I got the movie, come and see, and let's watch the movie tomorrow on Saturday. So I went to his place, and I was like, where's the movie? He said, a small issue, much under. We have this VHS, you get moldy fungus. So you have to clean it. We used to clean it with a little cotton wool, put some body cologne or some perfume, and then where the mold is, you just subtly, very softly wipe it, and the movie is fresh. Otherwise, it's a distorted movie. So he has seen so many fungus in the tape. He's literally dismantled the entire thing, pulled out the entire tape, and put it on where they dry the clothes outside. So I had to wait for another half an hour. And he put it back. It took about another 45 minutes and watched this 1.5 hour movie. So I thought he was badass to do something completely unorthodox. And I thought he has some great skill. It's funny how, as the time passes by, those things become, along with this skill that you had, become completely outdated. And this brings me a really nice case study, as you can call it. I don't know if you heard of this community called Amish community. There's a community who actually started at the late or the early 17th century. They started the community in Switzerland and it well spread across the United States. The Amish community refused to adopt, and even to date, they live in the 17th century life. They wear the same stuff that they wear in 17th century. They don't use automobile, they use horse carriages. Those industries that they had, they only do those. The children go only maximum up to grade 8 education. Pretty interesting, isn't it? So they refuse to adopt, and they face major problems and threats because of the new technology, the advent of new technology, and the government policies, etc., etc. So my question is, do you have a little bit of an Amish in you that refusing to change? What's going to happen is, let me just rephrase what Charles Darwin said. The survival of the fittest. In here, he meant not the strength, but your adaptability. This is why I always say, adapt or perish. So in this very crucial time, you got to adapt, and you got to adapt pretty fast. 30th of November 2022, 30 years from now, historians will turn back and say that was one of the most significant turning point of the humankind. After the invention of internet, then the Google, Facebook, smartphone, then ChatGPT on 30th of November 2022. Almost overnight, it ended the creative writing business, isn't it? Not for everyone I know, but for many. By now, it's been so many months, it's actually gone into so many areas, even creative industry. We'll meditate into personal assistants, so I'm actually leveraging AI technology as we speak. It's incredible. So you've got to adapt pretty fast if you want to move forward in the new world, or you'll be left behind. It'll be too late. You'll have to close down your business if you don't. Now, so far, it's AI assisted. meaning that you need a human being to give the commands. You never know what date it's going to end. One day is going to be not AI assisted, it's fully AI. You never know, at least to some industries. So you got to anticipate. My coach said, power of anticipation. As a leader, as a business owner, you got to develop power of anticipation. You got to think ahead what this might become. It might manifest into this or that. You need to use your creative thinking, critical thinking, and adapt yourself pretty fast. For that, you need to develop this very important element as a business owner called working on the business. Let me explain a little bit what that is. Every business owner is actually managing two businesses, whether consciously or unconsciously. Business number one is the business that you're in right now. You consume with this operation, the sales and marketing, the cash flow, and all sorts of things, which you generously put your time, 6, probably even 7 days a time, unfortunately. The second business is what this business has become in the future. Where are we heading in this business? You got to manage both businesses. Now, how do you do that? The guys that I coach, I deliberately, diligently check whether they actually working on the business. All you have to do is spend something around 2 hours a week on, let's say, on a Sunday and a quiet day, whatever that quiet day is. Get a few blank papers, pen and a pencil, and think, what can I do to enhance my business? Is there some sort of operation aspect that I can eliminate or reduce? Introduce new technology? Is there a new leadership style that I need to bring? A new product, new services, whatever that you can do. Remember, when you're working on the business, a lot of people make these mistakes. They think about something that they're gonna do in 10 years' time. I'm not talking about that. I'm not even interested about that. I'm focusing on what can you do in the next couple of weeks' time for this business. A small thing. It's also known as continuous and never-ending improvement. If you adopt that, and imagine you do that every week routinely, you adopt something very small to develop your business. What is business becoming in the future? And you bring that forward. You become such a fast and a forward-looking business owner. When this technology happens, you'll be one of the first to adopt very quickly, and because you're already thinking in a futuristic way. That's one of the most important things to do. And this advent of AI has given a lot of businesses, given a lot of entrepreneurial thinking to so many people. They think, okay, should we develop apps and things like that? Let me just share another story. Then you know how to think about moving forward. During the 1849, the Californian gold rush, there were sudden discovery of gold in California, attracted hundreds of thousands of people into California. They were so aggressive and they're looking for this gold so they can make a lot of money. Some were lucky they found gold and vast majority didn't. But in this whole event, one group of people make a lot of money and they did it for sure without any problem. And they were the people who sold shovels for the people who dig gold. So what are the shovels you can sell during this whole transition of AI? Think about that. Think about things where you can make money without risking so much for a very unpredictable, uncertain future that we have. So you've got to think like that in a futuristic term. So I'm going to leave you with that. The future of business depends on how well you are open and ready to embrace new technology. For that, it's not going to happen overnight. Like I said, you need to work on the future business routinely. Have a system, have a culture, have a character, develop a character. Your brain is ready and steady to open up for new technology. And when the technology happens, you'll be quick to adopt it. Even things are not happening, you still find creative ways to develop your business. Those are the people who can actually go forward and take the lead. Not only take the lead, they will actually make a lot of money. And while a lot of the people who don't want to adopt, reluctant to adopt, and forget about this whole thing, who's not going to work on the future business, are in grave danger. Hope this video helps you and add value to your business. I'll speak to you in another video. Until then, live with spirit.